Welcome to episode 3 of All Wrapped Up. Today's guest, we've got the one and only, the vinyl Vixen Jess. We're talking about quality wraps, SEMA, and more. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to All Wrapped Up podcast. We'll be interviewing industry-leading wrap companies to share tips, tricks, stories, and more. Today's guest, we got the vinyl Vixen Jess from Arizona. How are you today?
I am so awesome. Thank you for having me.
What do you guys have going on at your shop today?
Today we're kind of doing something a little out of the norm for us. We're not actually doing very much color change right now. It usually kind of slows down around the holidays, the Christmas holidays. So we kind of slow down with the color changes and switch over to commercial graphics. So last night, actually, from, 6 p.m. to 5 o'clock in the morning, I think, we did a huge brick wall mural at a call center over here in Mesa, Arizona, that we did with a buddy of ours, Matt from Accelerated Wraps. He's another local installer. We do work with him every now and then. So we had 2 scissor lifts pretty much set up over all these call center offices and computers. And we were wrapping a 13-foot by 85-foot mural, a wall mural, a brick wall that we did with Oracal, and a bunch of heat guns and heat rollers. And we were just slapping and wrapping last night. So we're going to do that again tonight. Do a couple commercial things this month for us. So
that's awesome. On your social media account, I noticed that you don't promote too much of the commercial stuff. Do you have a transition, during certain months that you kind of go commercial where things die down with the color changes and then pick back up summertime and just straight color changes at your shop?
Yeah, most definitely. It definitely depends on the time of year, especially down here in Arizona. When you're getting in the summertime months, it's 115, 120 degrees over here. People they're not wrapping their vehicles. They don't even want to step outside. And that even falls with the commercial and stuff too. So it really dies down in those times. So when we have our slow months in the industry, we kind of just try to rely on our connections and our networking. So like right now, like I said, when we're kind of slow on color change, we just hop over to commercial, and right now they're booming. Also, like boat wraps are really popular right now in the winter time, so that brings in a lot of work for graphics companies and things like that. So we're all just about collaborating and keeping each other busy.
That's cool. So you work with a lot of local shops around your area to help out with installs and things of that nature when you guys kind of slow down?
Yeah, most definitely. That's actually how we kind of built up our following originally. Michael, which is my boyfriend and the co-owner of Wrap Sesh, we both started this company just over a year and a half ago. And the way we started out Wrap Sesh, we actually walked out of our old job at a wrap shop kind of unexpectedly, and then that's when we decided that was going to be our kick on our feet, and we just went from there. So we started out doing just like mobile work for a lot of local companies and different shops and stuff, performance shops and things like that, where they don't have installers on hand, but we would come to them in-house and bring everything and do wraps for them. And that's kind of how we first built up our clientele, just to get our name out there and everything. I mean, we already had quite a bit of a following out here locally. My boyfriend's been in the wrap industry for 6 or 7 years, so he's already worked at several shops locally, as well as like the surrounding states and stuff. So we already had some pretty good contacts there, and we just built our following. And then we slowly started doing all the color change stuff and building our personal clients. And now that's kind of just what we specialize in, which is really cool because a lot of shops, they don't specialize in color change. The money is where the graphics are. So that's why there's always going to be commercial graphics wraps and companies that need advertising and things like that. So that's where a lot of people make their money. But with us, it's just me and Michael starting out, and it was a trade and an artistry for us. We specialize in doing the really detailed luxury color changes and the really artistic stuff. We get to do a lot of like freestyle knifeless designs and things like that not a lot of other shops get that opportunity. So we're really excited to get to do the things that we like to do, and we're all about quality and not quantity. So we get those little jobs, but they're really special jobs and unique, and we like doing unique.
Right. How many people do you have working with you now?
So it's actually technically within Rap Sesh, there's only 3 of us right now. And that was as of recently. Up until September of this year, that first year we were working out, it was just me and Michael. So we were doing all the installs, we were doing all the social media, booking all the work and everything. We recently just brought his friend on full time. His name is Volvo. He's our other full-time installer. And Michael's been working with him from the very beginning when they both started learning how to install. So back from 6 or 7 years ago, they've been working together. So their skill is very well matched. And we actually were all in the same shop when I first started apprenticing under my boyfriend as well. So it's just the 3 of us here right now, and the 2 boys mostly stick to all the install and the disassembly. Michael's actually a UTI mechanic graduate, so he's got a lot of experience doing the disassembly and stuff, so we do that all in-house. Him and Volvo do that, and then us 3, we split up all the installs and everything, and then when I'm not installing, I am in the office doing everything else, so just running the business, social media. We just got our YouTube channel running now. All sorts of crazy stuff, but we're right on the verge where we need to hire and expand. We need a full-time designer here and probably another installer very soon. So big things coming.
I love small businesses, starting from scratch, and then, a couple of years go down the road and you got this big empire. I love the mecca of that. I started my business as well, same way, at home, cutting vinyl on my kitchen table with a little plotter at the time, and built it up to a big commercial rap company. So I love the small businesses, and I love exactly what you guys do, because there's a lot of shops that just do color changes, and there's a lot of shops that just do commercial. To be versatile and split up the load, really, diversifies the company itself. It's great. And 2, your shop's based out of like another auto shop, right? Like 101 Motors, I think it is.
Yeah, that's correct. So within our little kingdom here at 101 Motors, we actually have several companies. Like I said, Michael and I own the Rap Sesh and the whole Vinyl Vixen thing. That's all ours. So we completely operate separately out of 101. We bring in our own customers and we do theirs, and we all work together. So 101 specializes, they do private luxury auto sales, things like that, but they also do any kind of restyling. So lifts, tires, really anything, but they really specialize in like off-road and Jeep builds and things like that. So they have their stuff there, and then we have our shop, and then we have our Ceramic Pro section, which is half of our shop, and we are the official Ceramic Pro shop of Tempe. So we just got into the Ceramic Pro game a couple months ago, got certified and everything, and we have an installer here full-time doing everything in-house. But I believe we're like the #1 Ceramic Pro seller in Arizona already, and we're top 5 for the U.S. for Ceramic Pro as well. So that's really cool. We also have a paintless dent repair shop. It's called Leave No Trace Dent. They are here in-house as well. And then we also do clear bra, tint. We do rhino lining, paint, pretty much anything that you could do with a car, automotive wise, you can bring it in here and bring it between our 5 bays, and we just pass it around to each other and do the whole build from start to finish. So it's a really cool thing we have set up going here. We all get work off of each other, and it works out really nice.
That's a great network right there. You couldn't have asked for a better location. Now, are you guys planning on staying in that one area for now, or are you guys looking to expand?
You know what? I don't know about that. The rate that we're going, we're definitely outgrowing the space that we have, because we have our room, our little Rap Sesh lab, and that fits about 2 cars. And then we have a bunch of racks set up for tools and all that kind of stuff. Our cutting table's pretty big. So we're already kind of growing out of that room. We typically have 2 to 3 projects in at one time during the week. So we normally have to flood kind of into the other bays and everything. We'll probably eventually either have to expand out the back side of the building or consider getting our own space in the future. But right now we really like it here, so we're gonna make it work as best as we can. And we've got lots of space to work with here. We have an office area, we've got a print room, a storage room, and stuff. And we're constantly working on working on our shop. The owner here, Tony from 101, he's doing the floors. He's constantly just making upgrades to make this place just look top of the line and match the quality of work that we're putting out here. So it's really cool, you know, every time you come in,
Right.
we've got some completely new setup or some brand new table built or some cool lighting setup or our sample wall. We're constantly making improvements to our shop, and it's just really great.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, as far as social media, I think you guys are killing it. Posting 2-3 times a day in between the 3 Instagrams that you guys have with your Vinyl Vixen, your personal one, and then Mike's, and then the Rap Sesh.
It's nuts. It's like 6 accounts.
A lot of information, which is great.
Yeah, it's a ton, and then plus with the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, you guys are just starting that. Was that your big thing that you guys were holding back to announce?
Yes,
yes. Was that
was like our really excited news that I've been waiting to announce for a while. I'm, like I said, as you know from starting this little podcast out, I'm terrible with technology. I'm horrible, absolutely horrible on a computer. So over the past couple of months, you know, with our Instagram account really picking up speed and everything and getting a lot of attention, you know, we've been doing all these little time-lapse videos and little video clips and things like that, and we just do those on our phone, and they're just fun little videos. But you know, on Instagram, you're so limited on what you can actually post because you can only put out a minute video, and you can only fit so much information, right, you know, in that 1 minute clip. Like, I'm usually talking 100 miles an hour trying to get what I want to say in that 1 minute video. So I can't really put a lot of valuable information. It's just like a little check-in video and things like that. And people love them. Like, we get thousands and thousands of views on them. And I think it's so great. And we've been wanting to step up our game with videos. Like I said, I'm terrible with technology. So like using a GoPro or doing any kind of video editing software is just like, it's not for me. I don't have the time. I don't have the skill. So we've had a lot of requests from installers and shops around the United States and around the world. Honestly, I've had installers from everywhere contact me, and you know, we've had tons of requests for, I need more tutorial videos, like show me how you do this, how do you wrap handles, how do you take off these bumpers, how do you do this. Like a lot of the stuff that we're doing, certification courses and things like that, they don't teach that. They don't teach a very detailed color change, like a full door jam
right,
wrap, like what we're doing. They don't teach you how to wrap a helmet or a handle the right way, you know, stuff like that. And that knowledge just, it doesn't really seem to be out there. I've had installers that have paid to take like certification courses and stuff, and they want to come and fly out down here and just like shadow us for a week and see how we do a wrap, because they're like, I've seen these courses, but they're not teaching me the detailed color change that I want to learn. And that's what we're like all about here, is doing detailed color change. So we're just trying to get the right information out there for everyone and make it accessible. You know what I mean? And just make a better platform to reach out to you guys.
That's great. I mean, also too, touching on the certifications and things like that. Do you guys don't market anything that you guys have certifications? It's basically self-taught.
Yeah, actually. So we kind of bank off the fact that we don't have any certifications. Between the three of us, like I said,
I love that.
Michael and Bobo, they've been installing, like I said, 6 or 7 years. Okay, so they've gone through commercial, they've done luxury color change shops, and now they're working here for us, you know, doing a bit of everything. And they've never done any certifications whatsoever. I myself was the same way. I did an apprenticeship at a shop. I had my boyfriend teach me, you know, at a shop he was working at, and then I started from there. So I did the same thing. You know, I worked 8 weeks for free while I was working 3 other jobs just to learn the trade, you know, and put that time in. And then I just developed my skill over time, and that's kind of how they've done it too. So we've all kind of had that approach of, it's almost like the best way I could explain it is like a tattoo apprenticeship. Like you can't really go to school to be a tattoo artist. They don't really have that. It comes down to your skill level and how much time you're putting in. Like an artist or a painter, like you can't go to school for a week and then say, okay, I know how to paint like Van Gogh, you know? Like you have to develop that skill and your specific, you know, signature on it over time. And so we've always kind of had that approach about it, and we've never really, I guess maybe the kind of wraps that we're doing, They don't really require certification because we're not going for those big commercial companies. Those are usually the people that are looking for certifications.
Right.
Is the ones doing those big commercial jobs. And what we're doing, we consider an art. So we don't need a piece of paper to tell us that we know how to rap.
No, totally. Totally on board with what you're saying. 100%. I'm exactly the same way. I have no certifications. I've actually hosted Justin Pate's Avery certification at my office. I didn't even sign up for it. I just watched everyone else take the course.
Right.
And it's tough because you are right. You spend, $2-3 grand on these certifications, and yes, you get 3M certified, or yes, you can, you know how to put vinyl on with Avery. Wow, big deal. You just spent 2 grand, and what? You still can't put it on because you don't have those technical skills, although all that time invested to figure out how that material works.
Right. Like, I think, don't get me wrong, like, I think the certification is great. I think it's great. I have nothing against it because, like I said, we've never taken a class. I don't even know what they're really teaching you, or the content in that coursework necessarily. But I know that what we're doing works for us, for the kind of raps we're doing. And people seem like they're really, really interested in that, and they're not getting that really high-end, detailed stuff that they want to learn. So we just want to offer that, and we know that, like, our techniques and our abilities, it's probably going to piss some people off. There's going to be some people that don't agree with it, or they were taught a different way, or the Avery course said it this way or something, and that's totally fine. Like, I've met Justin Pay. I love Justin Pay. I love his videos, and I love what they do, and, I love it. It's just that's not what we've done, and we've done just fine without it. So we're going to keep banking on that you don't need that piece of paper to say that you can rap. It's all about how much effort you put into your own work.
100%. And even too, like, as far as getting into the rap industry, you're going to have those haters later on that are going to be watching your videos and saying, why are you giving away the secret sauce? There's so many people out there that get so mad at that. It's like, we're a big community, and some people are either in the community or some people are not in the community. And like, you get to figure that out as time goes on. And it sucks because you want to see other people succeed.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot, is that, like, I see that there's a lot of shops. It's hit or miss. I'm sorry, you're okay. It's hit or miss. You're either going to get somebody that's like, yeah, I'm going to help you out and tell you everything I know because I want you to have that good information. And then there's other things that, if they made this super cool rap, like, they're not going to tell you how they did it because that's their customer and that's why they got that job. And that's understandable, but the way that we look at it here, there's more than enough work to go around. Like, there's more than enough work to go around.
Yeah.
Within this square mile of my shop, there are 3 other color change shops, and there are 3 other graphics companies just in this square mile. And I'm probably priced quite a bit over all of them. But that's okay because I'm a specialized rapper and I'm not doing what they're doing, and I'm giving you something that's going to last longer and look better. And that's fine. It's to each his own, but the way we feel about it, like, we want raps to have a good name, and in a lot of places raps don't have a good name because there's a lot of really crappy raps out there. We want good raps. So if somebody's asking me, hey, how do you stretch a corner, how do you pull this bumper, how do you take this handle off, like, I'm going to give them the right information because it's going to better our industry altogether. And that's what it's all about. I want the rap industry to have a good name.
And you guys being somewhat of a newer company, I mean, between all of you guys, with the many years of experience all of you guys have jointly, coming out and just doing this, I want to say it's ballsy a little bit, but like I said, you're gonna have those people that are just gonna, like, the computer guys, looking at your feed and then
they're gonna look at those videos with a microscope. Yeah, they're gonna look at it with a microscope and they're gonna say, oh, there's no way this should work, or that's totally fine. Like I said, you can take the information and leave it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. But I mean, we keep our heads down and stick to our work, and that's what we care about and that's what we focus on, and our quality speaks for itself, and that's what people are recognizing us for, and I think that's great. And I've actually had some installers across the US like message me on Instagram and be like, oh, like, you've got some haters over here talking about you. You've got these big guns, you got these big guys in the industry gunning you guys down. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm flattered they're even thinking about me at all. Like, that's great, that's fine. We're not trying to piss
Right.
anyone off. We're not trying to step on anyone's toes. It's just what we do for our kind of work. It works, and people are interested in that. And I've got no problem sharing that with how to make a successful wrap and how to make it last, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. All we care about is that finished product. That finished product is what I'm putting out. That is my name on it. That's my piece of art, and that's all I care about. I don't care about any of the stuff that comes with it, or the drama or anything like that. We're here for the art.
I want to talk about SEMA. I've never attended SEMA, and I was very jealous at looking at your photos and everyone hanging out. How was the SEMA experience for you?
SEMA was like Disneyland. It was like dying and going to car heaven, basically. It was the most incredible experience. Seriously, though, like, it was our first year too. I'm sure you saw. This is our first time going. Me and Michael specifically, we've done a car for SEMA every year for the past 3 years since I've been rapping. So to get to go for the first time,
Wow.
you've been helping be a part of it for this long is really awesome. And it was our first time going as our own company with our own employees, and it was just super great. So we got to do some live rapping demos in the Dub IR booth. They're one of the big, huge sponsors of SEMA, so we did some stuff with them again. And then we hung out. We went and met some people at the Avery booth. We hung out with Justin Pate, Joffrey, the Knifeless King. He was over at Avery Denimson. We met 3M, Geek Raps, all those sorts of people, and it was so great getting to meet the people on Instagram, honestly, because these are the people that are liking our stuff every day and, talking to us online and everything. So getting to actually meet those people and be recognized by them it's so awesome, getting to be like in your industry and in your niche and being recognized for what you do. So I actually got to be a part of a focus group for SEMA. It was with the SEMA officials. I was pre-selected. I had to go through like a phone interview process and everything a couple of weeks beforehand, but it was for 8 other either installers or shop owners of like a company restyle or a graphics company or some kind of car restyling shop. So there was 8 of us. I show up in this room Friday morning, and I'm in like, okay, mind you, I've got, bright green hair. I'm in, like, galaxy pants. I'm, like, 24. And I walk into this room, and there's these, like, SEMA officials all dressed up with, like, cameras recording us and all official. And then there's these, like, 7 other shop owners that are all, like, 10 years older than me, pretty professional looking. And I'm just like, I walk in and I'm like, I'm here to fuck shit up, guys. Like, this is what I came for. So it's really cool. I got to talk to the SEMA officials directly about different things that I liked about the show, just the whole experience, things that we wanted to see. And then we also talked about some ideas they've got cooking up in the kitchen for next year, which I cannot talk about, but really, really cool ideas that we went over in that focus group. Yeah, so it was really neat. I got to, being a first-time company, and we're such a small, specialized company, it was really cool getting to go to that show, and I got, getting to talk to the officials directly and saying, telling them about the show and what we want to see as a small company and what we need from it. So it was a really cool experience overall. It was great.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen a big change. I'm always looking at, Instagram, Facebook, and the SEMA website. And within the last few years, probably within the last 4 or 5 years, I've seen a big change where people aren't painting as much, and that the rap industry is, getting migrated into that more of that customization aspect of the industry of cars, and seeing the raps and just people really putting design work out there where, people are like, oh my God, that looks like a really good paint job. And you just sit back and you're like, wow, that's a digital print.
That's
but
a
okay,
rap.
I'll take it.
I'll
it's
take
phenomenal. Yeah, right?
It's great. Like, we actually consider that a great compliment. Yeah, if somebody tells us like, oh, that's a nice paint job, or that looks like paint, that's a compliment. Like, when we actually did a couple months ago, we did a Lamborghini Aventador for the catcher of the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs. And we did a full color change, so it was like a white Lamborghini, and we did it was like Avery matte metallic silver and a gloss black two-tone on top. And we did door jambs and everything. We did the engine bay,
Wow.
like full coverage. So we finished this car, and it goes over to the Lamborghini of Scottsdale to get serviced. And while it was over there, their paint guy came out of his shop and was like, hey, what's the paint coat on that Aventador? It's really nice. You know, so we even had the Lamborghini paint technician asking us what the paint code was on our wrap. And that's what we shoot for, is a wrap that you know, has such full coverage in the door jambs and is so flawless and seamless that you literally cannot tell the difference between the paint and the wrap. And like with vinyl, there's so much opportunity. Like literally the sky is the limit. You know, you can do so much more than you can with paint. It's much more customizable. You can do just all sorts of stuff that you can't achieve with paint, and it's half the price, and it's removable if you need to make it removable, or you can ceramic coat it and make it last even longer. So it's just a really good alternative if you really want to step your game up.
And with repairing, you know, as long as it's within, you know, a couple years, you can basically repair anything, whether it's a bumper or a fender or whatever the case may be. I mean, people don't really understand. You're going to be without a car for a whole week to get a bumper or a fender painted, when you can just drop the thing off and pick it up at the end of the day.
And it's right.
Looks like
brand
new.
Do it in the end of the day. Yeah. And we've actually, like, vinyl is meant to be, it's not going to protect your car 100%, you know what I mean? But it's meant to be a sacrificial layer. So, like, for example, there was one car we did once, and it was an Aston Martin. It was wrapped in a white carbon fiber. And it was for some Cardinals player, I believe. And he actually got his car keyed. And I think it was by an ex-girlfriend, which was really, really unfortunate, because you should never key an Aston Martin. But so they keyed through the vinyl, right? Through the white carbon fiber. So he brings the car in, and we rip the vinyl off, and we're like, oh no, you know, this is going to be bad. And it ripped through the vinyl completely. But once we ripped the vinyl off, it didn't actually touch the paint. So it destroyed that door panel. But that's $100 piece of carbon fiber that you have to replace it. Like, that's not, you know, you rewrap that door and you're fine. So it saved that paint job.
Right.
And then we just replaced the door and it was all good to go. Same thing for, like, if you get in little accidents, if you get a bunch of rock chips on the front bumper or something like that, you can just replace that one panel. So it makes it really easy to maintain. Right.
Going back to the ceramic stuff, I had posted something last week, I think it was, about the ceramic, just to get people's opinions and figure out what's going on, because I used to get that all the time, even with the commercial stuff. How do I take care of it, and what can I do? And you know, you can only tell them so much. You know, you can wax it once a year, don't bring it through a car wash, hand wash it,
right?
And the ceramic stuff is just unbelievable. Can you take me through the process of what you guys kind of do, because you guys physically actually put it on after a wrap or sell it to the client as an upsell for protection on the wrap, right?
Right. So I have my certified technician here who went to California and took the Ceramic Pro course and got certified and everything. So he actually does the install. I don't personally do it. But the way it works is for vinyl specifically. For vinyl, it's going to be a 3-layer coating. And they do a 2-layer of the 9H, and then they do a layer of the top coat. And what you're doing basically to the wrap when you put this coating on is you're making a 9H hardness glass seal over that entire vinyl. So think if you have, like, for example, a matte white wrap. If you have a matte white wrap, if you touch that wrap, your finger oils will leave a mark in it because a matte is a porous material, right?
It's toast.
Right. You drive it outside in Arizona, it's toast. And so you have that white and it's porous. If you put the ceramic coating over it, it's still going to be a matte white, but it's no longer porous. So you could actually take a Sharpie on top of that matte white wrap with the Ceramic Pro. You could draw on that matte white wrap with that Sharpie, and you would be able to wipe it off, no problem. So, like, decals,
Unreal.
You can't even stick decals.
How long does it
to
take to do that?
The coating, you have to do the 3 coats over a certain amount of hours. I believe it's over like a 8-hour period that you have to do the first 2 coats. But basically it's like a 12-hour process overall to do the 3 coats. and then you have to let it cure for like a minimum 24 to 48 hours where you don't want it to get wet or anything like that, and really let it harden. But once it's totally cured, like, it's a permanent thing. So we have packages that range from a 1-year product up to a lifetime product, which is like a 10-layer coating. And that coating actually is like the only detail product on the market that raises the value on your car. And it's accepted by Carfax and things like that, as well as your insurance. So if you get something coated on your car and then you get in an accident, your insurance would actually cover to replace your Ceramic Pro, as well as your Ceramic Pro warranty. So it's a really, really cool product. You actually don't have to you don't have to use any detailing sprays whatsoever if you have Ceramic Pro. Like, you literally just have to wipe it with a rag and stuff comes off. Nothing will stick to it.
Now, how does that work with the matte finishes? Because I was watching a video on YouTube, believe it or not, and somebody was telling me that it puts from a matte finish to a more satin finish, so it's got a little bit of sheen on it, and that you would have to show like samples to your client to make sure.
Honestly, it's not like noticeable. It's not going to make it a satin. A satin is a 20% gloss. It's nowhere close to that. It does change the finish of it a little bit, but it actually makes it look better. It saturates the overall color of the vinyl. So like if you're doing a matte black, it makes that black look a lot deeper, and then it just puts a seal on it. So you're protecting it so nothing can penetrate that matte, that porous film anymore. So it's definitely, I highly recommend it for matte colors, just so you have that seal on it. But especially like lighter colors like whites and silvers, you should definitely consider doing the Ceramic Pro.
Yeah, the extra protection, why not? I mean, what does something like that cost to the retailer, to the consumer, that after you've done a wrap and say, hey.
Here at our shop, we do it pretty inexpensively because it's just an add-on thing, and we do a lot of it. Like, a lot. Like I said, we're like in the top 5 dealers of Ceramic Pro in the US now, just over the past couple of months. So we pretty much offer like wholesale pricing on it. If you're going to cover a wrap, I believe it's right around $750, $800 to do the 3-layer coating. If you're doing like paint, just like a full exterior paint with like your wheels and glass and stuff, the 1-year packages, I believe, start around $300, and then your lifetime packages, which is like a 10-layer coating, starts right around $1,000. So anywhere between there. But if you're considering, that couple $100, if you buy a newer vehicle and the paint is good, you should Ceramic Pro, put that $800 in and Ceramic Pro it, and then you're gonna make, however the surface looks, you're gonna make that permanent. So if it looks perfect, right when you buy it, you put that Ceramic Pro on it, it's going to stay perfect. So you're really you're going to make that paint last and make it look good for a long time.
So that's a better option than actually doing the paint protection film, as far as, the price range. I mean, you could probably pay the same amount for a wrap over, spending $1,000 on the Ceramic Pro.
I mean, if you're doing, definitely. It's definitely worth, if you're doing a wrap, if you're going to spend the money to do a wrap, especially like those full door jam wraps or things like that, or custom ones, you should definitely just pay that extra $800 to get it coated, because it's going to make your life easier in the long run as far as your maintenance. Like I said, nothing will stain it, nothing sticks to it.
Right.
It helps with scratching and all that kind of damage you're going to get over time using it daily. So it's really worth it. It doubles the longevity of the vinyl, and it just makes your life easier, and you don't have to use any sort of detailing products after you get it on there. Like, it's just a win-win in my opinion.
Definitely. Now, you guys, I've seen numerous videos that you guys have on your Instagram about doing the door jams. Now, I've never done door jams. How difficult is the door jams to get wrapped?
They suck balls. they're pretty terrible. There's a reason why we only have 1 or 2 clients that will go through with those wraps, and it's because they're really expensive. So when we do a full door jam wrap, say like on a 4-door vehicle, we're taking off all 4 doors. So we completely remove those doors. We're taking everything off on the outside to begin with. So bumpers, handles, mirrors, lights, seals, door panels, emblems, all the stuff on the trunk, like everything that you can take off, we take off. And then we'll remove the doors, take off the door panels completely, all the seals and everything. And then what we'll do is we'll wrap, typically like on a car, we'll wrap the rear hip with the entire door jamb. So it's actually like a 60-inch piece by like a 12-foot long piece that we do to wrap that entire door jamb in one piece. And then we go back and we wrap the interior pieces of the doors that stick out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. That seems like a nightmare. I did see a Lamborghini that was wrapped in the chrome on your page. It was like, I was like creep status going down your feed.
I will
looking at
accept
different
that
projects you've done,
graciously.
so we can have topics to talk about. So you guys obviously wrapped that. So I've never wrapped anything in chrome. How difficult was the chrome wrap for people to really understand as far as like even pricing?
Right. So that chrome Murcielago that you're talking about, I didn't actually personally wrap that, but that is a cool story because that car was actually wrapped through 101 Motors back in 2010. But
yeah, that looked phenomenal
on
there. It looked like you guys had just done it.
Yeah. The guy keeps it inside and it's well kept and everything, and that's obviously why it looks so good. But that just comes to show, the wrap is going to last as long as you're going to take care of it. A 7-year wrap is pretty good for Arizona, when most of the time the range is 3 to 5 years for daily drivers. When realistically, though, it really just depends on how well you take care of it. And if you do that ceramic pro coating, it really helps it last longer. But on the subject of chrome wraps, I have done we've done a few of them. We did a chrome Gallardo before, and chrome wraps. So something you have to keep in mind with chrome is about 5 times more expensive than your average material. And a lot of people don't understand this, and that's why it's priced so high. Most of your materials are going to run like $25 to $35 a yard, right? So an average roll can be $700 to $800 for a car. When you're doing chrome, you're going to be at $100 to $150 a yard. So your material cost alone is right around $2,500 starting for a full roll of chrome. And then something else you have to consider with chrome is that it scratches really, really easy. So we normally recommend, if you're getting a chrome wrap, that you actually laminate the chrome beforehand, and that helps with all the scratching that you get when you install it, as well as the upkeep for later. You could be looking at anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 just for your material startup. And then installing the chrome, you have to seam it a lot more. You have to install it completely different. You've got to use a heat gun. Long time to do. It's an expensive material, and there's a lot of ways to mess it up, and only one way to really do it right. So when you're doing a chrome wrap, you're easily starting out around $4,000 to $5,000 for those wraps, as opposed to the typical color change, which is going to start around $2,000 to $3,000.
Right. Wow. Now laminating too. You had said you had a print room or a production room. Do you also have printers at your facility that you print and design stuff with, or do you outsource that?
We still outsource that right now. Like I said, we mostly specialize in luxury color change, so we're mostly working with color change materials. They're already pre-printed and everything. We have a 30-inch plotter and a 60-inch plotter here, and then some computer setups to do basic design work. But anytime I need prints or anything like that, we actually use WePrintWraps.com. Those are my girls. They're over in Phoenix, over here as well, locally. And they just started their site, which is a wholesale printing site for installers. And it's really a game changer what they're doing. Nobody's really done this yet. But basically, it's wholesale prints for installers that are booking their own jobs, because a lot of installers they're just contractors, and they just freelance and book their own work as they want to. They're not usually just loyal to like one single shop.
Right.
So when you have installers like that, or like us, that, we want to book a graphics wrap or something, and we don't have a designer or a printer, they make it really easy, because they can do all the design work for you and everything. And you go on their website and you can just pick the sizing and dimension, pick the designs that they're doing, and you can just chat with them online, and it's really easy, and then they just ship it over to you. So we actually use them for all of our printing needs.
That's great. Now you had mentioned, is that women owned as well?
Yeah. So her name is it's Trish and Bryce Dill, and that's WePrintWraps.com. Trish kind of runs the show. Bryce does production and all the installs and everything. They have another installer over there named Chase, and then they actually have a female designer as well. Gnarly Carly is her name. She's my favorite. She's a super cool chick, and she does all my design work and everything for me, and they take care of us. So I'm all about promoting, female in the industry.
Is she on IG?
Yes, she is. If you look her up, it's Gnarly Carly, like Gnarley.
Okay,
Carly.
Give her a little shout out.
Yeah, she's awesome. So that's Gnarly Carly, and we print wraps.
That's awesome, and I love that more women are getting more into the industry, because at the time, a couple of years back, there weren't that many. You got the sign shop ones.
Right.
I actually did a little research myself on sign and digital graphics. They did an article back in August about women that are in the rap industry. And they had mentioned, I think it was Charity Jackson from Visual Horizon, Ewing Graphics, and that's Jen Ewing, and even Zilla Raps, Angela. They're huge. I mean, these companies are humongous, and I love that women are getting more into the industry. And have you noticed any change as far as how the guys kind of react?
You know what? I mean, I've always just done my own thing, honestly, and haven't really cared about what other people think. So I kind of like, the thing that really attracted me to rapping in the first place, aside from all the awesome cars and everything, is just the fact that there weren't a lot of women in the industry. When I first started doing this, I took a look at, what I could find as far as girls in the rap industry, and there are a lot of female designers, because women are very good with like attention to detail and things like that. So there are a lot of women in that area, but as far as installing, it's hard to find girls that are down for labor. And that's really the only thing I could say about it, just to put it bluntly. It's hard to find a girl that will sit and scrape at adhesive for 6 hours and rip off a wrap. You know what I mean? Like, or be on a scissor lift at 3:00 in the morning like I was last night. And that's the only problem, really, I feel like, with girls being on the install side. It's hard to find ones that will be down for labor, because it is a lot of labor and a lot of work. But I would like to see more, and I do have a handful of girls, on my Instagram and stuff that I keep in touch with, like Curvaceous Wraps. She's a female designer, and she also can do some installs too. She's a really cool one over in Portland, Oregon. Burbe Wraps in Colorado, Candy Wraps. There's a few girls that I keep in touch with, but I'd really like to. I mean, it's one of my goals, and that's kind of why I started the whole Vinyl Vixen thing separately, is I want to promote females in the industry and get more women out here, because I've had a lot of, girls message me that are interested in it, or, they tell me, oh, I look up to you and I want to do what you do, and, you're a great inspiration to my girls and all this stuff. And I just think it's so great. So I'm all about helping everyone out and getting more girls in the game.
Definitely being positive about everything and putting out information. And I love that you guys are building this YouTube show, so to say. I overheard something about, like, as far as like a show, the Mike and Hangry show. Do you want to talk about that? How did that come up?
That actually came from one of our old customers, Marcus from Pit Stop Detailing over in Scottsdale. He just kind of made that up as a nickname for us, a little hashtag nickname, the Mike and Hangry Show. I guess that's my nickname, Hangry. My customers know me, so they know if I come over and do an install, like mobile, they usually have food and snacks for me, or candy or something, because I'm just like a little crazy Asian girl if I get hungry, and I have to be well fed. Like, example, last night, the job that we did, the wall mural graphics, we were packing all of our stuff up to go leave and do that overnight, and I was walking out of the shop with a Home Depot bucket. And the owner, Tony, stopped me. He's like, you going to Home Depot? I was like, oh, no, this is my snack bucket. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going on a job tonight, like, I need snacks. I got to be prepared. So, yeah, I can get a little evil if I'm not well fed. So I make sure I'm well fed, and then I'm happy. But that's where that little nickname came from.
That's great. Well, I'll be looking forward to, I think I've already subscribed to the YouTube channel for sure. And I know it's getting late for you, and I want to thank you for coming on to the podcast. I appreciate the support and you taking the time out of your day to sit and talk to me for a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I was so excited to be a part of it, and like I said, we're all about just sharing good information, and we're happy to help people, and we're really happy that people are recognizing us for our work, and we're just excited for what we have going on. So just keep up with us on our Instagram, and then like I said, our YouTube page is Rap Sesh. You can't actually search it on YouTube yet though, until you get like 100 followers. So I got to get those subscribers up. But we'll be posting stuff every week, every Wednesday. So
let everybody know what social media accounts that you have available, and I'll make sure to promote it on the website.
Yeah, for sure. So our Instagram accounts where we post all of our time-lapse videos and fun things like that is going to be at Vinyl Vixen Raps, plural. So Vinyl Vixen Raps or Rap Sesh AZ. You can find the same pages on Facebook, Vinyl Vixen Raps and Rap Sesh, and then our YouTube channel is called Rap Sesh.
Perfect. Jess, I appreciate you taking the time again. Thank you so much.
Yes, not a problem. Thank you guys for contacting me, and happy to help out.
Once again, I want to thank our guest, Jess, for taking the time out of her busy day to talk to us on the podcast. Till next time, that's a wrap.